Welcome to the Golden Age of Cardboard podcast, where we remember a time when stacks of cards were held together with rubber bands and Mickey Mantles were put in bike spokes. We hope you will enjoy and reminisce as you come along with us as we tell stories about the baseball cards from the Golden Age of Baseball. We will examine the state of the vintage baseball card market and talk to some of the greatest collectors in the hobby. You won't be hearing us talk about any chrome or shiny cards here. Now, to take you on this retrospective journey, here's your host, direct from the shallow end of the gene pool, my son, Mike Moynihan.
Yo and hello everybody, Mike here. Welcome to another awesome episode of the Golden Age of Cardboard podcast. I am excited about today. To tell you guys how quick this all happened would be doing it a disservice, but I'm going to try. So a number of weeks ago, I got introduced to a channel through my YouTube feed, and I started watching. And I started watching more and digging back in the archives and going, how long has this guy been doing this? I was just mesmerized by his enthusiasm, by what he was showing. I mean, it was kind of this absolutely engrossing moment. And when you have that, when I have that anyway, it's okay, this is different. This is awesome. I love different and awesome. Who doesn't? And so I reached out basically with a YouTube comment. Hey, you don't know me, but I'm this creeper dude, stalker guy looking at your stuff, and I'd love to have you on my podcast. Well, he reaches back out through email. We connect. We talked on the phone yesterday for the first time. We're recording this about a week before it's going to come out. It'll be out on a Wednesday. So we talked and we immediately connected, immediately had so much like-mindedness, so much in common. And it was like, holy crud, I'm talking to my card brother now. And we had a relatively quick but great conversation. And the conversation was quick because I wanted to save it for you guys, because I want to ask a lot of questions of my guest. And I'm excited to introduce him to my audience. Some of you may know him already, but if you don't, you're going to want to after this conversation. Tim, what's up, man? Welcome to the show.
What is going on, kid? How are you? Oh my gosh. This is awesome. I love talking cards. I love talking vintage. You know that. You and I'm listening to your intro, and I honestly, you put it absolutely perfectly. It really was so natural. Our conversation yesterday, and Card Brother is a great, I love it. That's our new term, kid. We are Card Brothers. That's it. You've locked us in.
You didn't know me very well at all prior to me reaching out via YouTube comment, right?
No. So here's the thing is, and I think you and I talked. My daughter, who handles my social media, and then I have another young lady who handles my YouTube. I don't always have a lot of time to scroll and find other places, because they have me so busy and what have you. And I can say this: when I saw your stuff yesterday, when Maddie introduced it, and she's like, "Hey, I got to show you this guy." Mike in Golden Age of Cardboard, and she was telling, she's like, I've already been on it. She's like, Timmy, you're gonna absolutely love this guy. And I go, and she started showing me some of your video, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta call this guy. I gotta call him like right away. And Mike, you're a natural. You're awesome at what you do in sharing, and vice versa. I got to tell you, I am highly entertained by what you put out, and I'm really excited to go back and check out some of your older stuff. No doubt.
There's a few. a few things to watch. But
there's a lot of
I wasn't fishing for a compliment there. My point of asking you that question is, it's so funny, even in today's world, even as connected as we all are, you can still discover new things. Just like I discovered your channel and I went, oh my gosh, I love this dude. And I want to talk more to this guy. And that it's so cool that can still happen here in December 2025. By the way, it's Christmas week. So Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Hope everybody has a great holidays. So, okay, I'm going to start and I'm going to let you just run, but I'm going to launch this with, for the people that don't know your channel, first of all, what's your channel? Where can they find you on Instagram? Because I want to get that. Usually I do that at the end. It's important, I think, to get it out multiple times during this episode and talk about that. And then, okay, you have 20 million cards that I want to know the story. How did this come about? By the way, what's up with you not wearing the Expo gear? Why is that?
I know. You want to know what? So this is crazy. I was literally on a call until 11 o'clock, pulling into my driveway after the gym, and that I'd been on a call for about an hour. It was in regards to this, and it was pretty cool. And all of a sudden I'm like, I gotta go, man. I gotta go. I was like, I don't want to stop talking, but I gotta go. And I didn't have time. I mean, you probably can see it a little bit. There's a little bit. I got all kinds of.
That's the wardrobe department.
It is the wardrobe department.
Well, it looks like you got hair and makeup done in time, so that's
it does right. So to get back to it, everybody can find us at The Big League Find on all of our platforms. That is Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Some of them are entertaining. Some are just, skits and forms of entertainment. My daughter, incredibly talented, even though this is part-time for her, she loves it. She puts a lot of time and effort. Maddie, who handles my YouTube, just so efficient, just very comprehensive about how we handle things on that side, because we do a lot of long form on the YouTube side. But both of them, honestly, when people understand that they are as young as they are in what we've accomplished and what we've done, I really, really put it all on them. They joke around and laugh that I'm the energy, I'm this, I'm that, but you want to know what? They put it together, and I can only say it in one way. I feel my life is authentic, and that's it. I don't change. What you see in the videos is who I am as a person, and I love sharing. I love sharing
on video.
What's that?
That oozes out of you on video. You can totally.
Yeah, I mean, I really do. I enjoy it, and people ask me, they're like, I should say, every once in a while you get a comment, and you're like, the comment is, how can you get that excited about opening up a 1982 Topps and finding a Cal Ripken rookie? Excuse me? Like, who wouldn't get excited about a 1982 Cal Ripken rookie when you're ripping? It is the most important card of that 1982 set. In the best part, I don't care what the value is. This isn't about one of ones or whatever, and that's great for the hobby. I love that. I actually love that for them. But that's not me. What I'm focused on is, like, yes, the Cal Ripken rookie. Yeah, guys, I have yet to open up a 1981 pack and find a Tim Raines rookie. Wait till that happens. The house will come down. Like, it will actually come down, and the card is what, $1, $2, $3? I don't even know, but I can tell you the house will come down when I rip and open up and find a Tim Raines 1981, because Tim Raines is my guy. He is my guy. But go ahead, Mike.
No, I was going to say, so the Big League Find is where you can find YouTube, yes, TikTok, all these places. When they go to your channel, and just like I did, and I started watching, and I'm like, and I'll put a link down below, guys, and I'll put it in the podcast description. So if you're listening on podcast, you can click on that and go find his channel. I will put his channel in the YouTube description as well. So it'll be easy for you guys. You're going to hopefully feel the way I felt, which is like, oh my gosh. Tell me about, how did you get 20 million cards, which I didn't stutter, 20 million. How did this happen?
Okay.
And disclose whatever you want to disclose. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. There's a few things I'll just that you'll figure it out as we go. During the pandemic, I was I think very similar to a lot of people. I started pulling my cards out. I was trying to figure out what my next joy was. I had sold a business. This is really weird to say. I was really looking for something to really entertain me at that point in my life. I was 50 years old. I just turned 50, and I was just, I was looking at my cards, and I'm like, where can I buy stuff? So I'm going on eBay and I'm buying old wax from the early 80s. I get it. I then say, I'm super ecstatic. I post it on Facebook. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I get a response from a really close friend. She says, stop buying on eBay. Come and see my dad's collection. And I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah, no doubt. Where do I have to go? Like, do I got to jump on a plane? Do I got to jump on, no, it's 15 minutes from my house. Let's just think about that. This collection was 15 minutes from my house. So it's like, I didn't have to go anywhere to actually see it. I just needed to drive 15 minutes. So I go over the next day. Like, how I always explain it is the first room, it was love at first sight. Because as a kid, you know how you dream of holding cards, not owning them, just sort of holding them. I walked in and I saw, Babe Ruth cards, Ty Cobb, and all these little cards, and they were random. They were like on a desk. And I was like, oh my God. Like, I'm looking at it going, they're not behind a glass. But I didn't want to ask to touch them. I didn't want to ask to hold them because I didn't know. Like, I'm now my 12, 13-year-old self, like, sort of intimidated by the presence of what I'm in, and I'm like, holy cow. The one thing I did ask is I was noticing all these sets in this room, and I saw over in the corner, I saw the 1968 top set. And my dad's favorite player was Nolan Ryan. And my dad was alive at the time. So for some reason, and I always say this, I can't remember what I learned in high school, but I remember card 177, Nolan Ryan rookie. How specific is that? And it's just weird that sits in my brain. I guess it's how my brain works. So I looked in the box, I pulled it out, not to get emotional, but I literally was holding this Nolan Ryan rookie card that I dreamed of holding as a child, as a kid. And I'm now saying to myself, this is real. Like, holy cow. I like, at the time, I'm like, oh my God, I want to buy this. Now, I have not seen anything yet. Like, that was just a small portion of it. So she then says to me, you haven't seen anything yet. She's like, so we walk out of the house and we go to behind the house, and we're going into this other room. And now I'm looking at stuff that sort of I relate to. Oh, wow, look at, there's the traded sets from 1981 and 82 and 83 and 84 and 85, like, just not two of them, thousands of them. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, holy cow. I'm like, I owned one, the 1984 Fleer traded set with Gooden and Clemens and Puckett and all that. And I bought it because of the Pete Rose, because Pete Rose was in it, because I was a Pete Rose collector.
That's an
and
expo.
He was an expo in that set. So I bought it for all the wrong reasons at the time. And not a wrong, excuse me. I didn't buy it for the reasons that it became one of the most valuable traded sets. But I'm looking and I'm seeing that, and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. And I'm walking through that room and I'm seeing starting lineups, and I'm relating to the majority of it, but some of it I didn't, because I didn't collect in the 90s. So we then
you did. You collected. You didn't throw away your cards.
I'm sorry, I didn't I didn't. You said it last night, and I'll say it again. I wasn't accumulating in the 90s. That's it. I wasn't accumulating in the 90s. No doubt.
There you go.
So I then we're starting to, like, I'm really now at this point, just I'm feeling at home, and I'm falling more and more madly in love with this collection, and they're seeing my excitement, and the father and I are starting to communicate a lot more, where he was really quiet at first, very quiet.
And this is the owner of the stuff. Like, it's
yes,
his
this
stuff.
is the owner of the stuff. He was very quiet at first, and now he and I are starting to talk. And I was being very respectful, because it's his stuff. Like I don't want, I asked him multiple times, are you okay with me being here? And again, the daughter who I was friends with, she was walking me through it, and she was amazing. She was exceptional and awesome. And I was just trying to be respectful in the best way that I could. We're getting ready to leave that second room, and she says, you haven't seen anything yet. And now I'm like, come on, this is ridiculous. We walk out, and we walk into this next room. This is the only way I can explain it. Is I walked through a hallway created by banker boxes all the way to the ceiling of a warehouse. And it was about 15 to 20 rows deep. And it just kept going and going and going. And I was seeing sealed cases of cards. I was seeing, stuff like names on boxes, Ken Griffey Jr., Michael Jordan, all these things. And I'm looking around, and I'm trying to understand and trying to comprehend what I'm experiencing at that moment. And I knew at that time, right then and there, that I was experiencing something epic. That it was something that like, regardless of what I walk away from with this, like, whether it's me buying it or just me experiencing it, like, I knew that this was special. So the father and I, we continue, and we're laughing at this point. I'm asking him questions. He's telling me how there's original cards from when he bought that he bought as a child that are in this collection. And he said he started.
Let me ask you a question. Was this guy like a dealer? Was he just a collector / hoarder?
I think he was a collector, and I think that he I don't like to get into too much detail. He was a collector. Let's just say he was a collector.
That's fair.
Let's say
That's fair.
He was an avid collector, and whether he wanted to try to sell cards or not, or opened up a shop, I don't think that worked, because I don't think he could part ways with cards. I think he became so attached to his collection, and I think that was part of it. I don't know. That is my perception based on my conversations with him and the daughter. But to get back to it, when I left, the daughter and I had talked, and she had explained to me the situation. I, at no point, I didn't balk at anything. I just listened. And we didn't say one way or the other what was going to happen. I just said I needed to go home and figure this out. So
yeah, lots of processing, right? You had to process.
Yes, a ton of processing.
Yeah.
And Mike, what I would share with you is when I got home, at the time, like I was so emotional that about this, that I actually had tears coming down my eyes. I mean, I would say that I cried. I don't know, but I was emotional because I knew I had to buy it. Because now that I've seen it, how do I walk away from this? Like, this is something that I really like. This was love at first sight. This was something that I needed. I think I wanted in my life. So, I didn't know anything. I didn't know my next step. All I know is I went to bed, woke up. Next day, I get a phone call. I get a text first. Tim, give me a call when you wake up. I call the daughter, and she says to me, it was either the greatest sales pitch, but I believe it was genuine. She called. I call her. She then says, "Hey, listen. My dad really wants you to have this." And I'm like, oh, okay, got it. Okay. And she's like, I need to have an answer immediately because we have other people coming in tomorrow, and they're coming in from far off. They've got to get on a plane and they want to look at this. But can you let me know? And I literally did not even miss a beat, Mike. And I said, absolutely. I want it. And
I'm your guy. I'm your guy.
I am your guy. And I called my brother, and it was a quick transaction. Signed some signed my name on some letterhead, and that was about it. And then I owned 20 million freaking cards, 20 million plus, and I didn't know what the hell I was going to do with it. All I knew is that I just saw some of the most incredible things. And at the time, Mike, I didn't even know, like, because value really doesn't it doesn't mean anything to me. But I was like, holy cow, did I just get had? Like I don't know. I'm so far removed from collecting. I didn't know what, these cards are worth. I didn't know the Nolan Ryan rookie card is worth, minimally $2,000 or, $1,500, whatever it is, because I just didn't pay attention. And then more importantly, the cards are in such immaculate condition that now, whatever, but it wasn't about the value, because once I took possession of it, I really did I put my feet in the sand, and I was like, I'm not selling this. Like, this is now mine. Like, I own it. Like, I was like a selfish kid in the sandbox. Like this is my toy. You can play with it, but I'm taking it home with me.
I love it.
I'm like, that's it. Like, that was it. And I always say straight up, first, you have to come and visit, my friend. Like, you have to. Like, it's not if, it's when you come.
You don't have to ask me twice.
And I will tell you,
I gotta see this.
Yes. So to get back to it, Mike, I've spent the last 3 years, 3.5 years, just thumbing through it. People ask, what do you do on a daily basis? I thumb through cards, and it's not new boxes. Most of the time, it's stuff I've already found, because that keeps me entertained. Like, on a daily basis, you look at your collection. I'll bet you there are stacks of cards that you look at once a week. Once a week.
Yes.
That's me. I I find myself falling into a 1958 top set of, just looking at the cards. And one day I may be figuring out how many Mickey Mantles I have in that box, or, how many Roger Maris rookies I have in that box. Where other days I'm like, I wonder if I have any perfect tens. Like, I literally am like, cause I just want to see, and I don't know, because that doesn't move the needle. I don't know I don't know the grading system very well. But I think I'm learning. I do. I think I'm learning more about it, but I don't pay too much close attention to that kind of stuff. I feel like I'm rambling. I want to actually pass the baton to you, because I know that you're chomping at the bit to ask me some questions.
I have 482 questions.
I know.
Down. So
okay. Let's at least get to 4 of them.
You answered the first one. So all right, so you make the deal, right?
Sure.
And I know something about this. We had a Chasing Cardboard episode where we bought a house that had 6.5 million cards in it. And it was literally every room, floor to ceiling, 5,000 count boxes, 3,000 count boxes, sets, you name it, stacked. We ended up taking 5 million, left 1.5 million, and like, y'all, we can't even carry all this stuff. Like, you deal with it. And so I know just the mass that's involved. I can't even, that was 6. You're talking about 3x what we had to deal with. All right. So now do you hire movers? Do you rent the warehouse? Do you like take over a lease on a warehouse? Did you move the cards? Did you leave them where they were? What did you do? The physical nature of it.
Yeah. So thank you. Awesome question. So this is a really interesting part of the story. The day that I made the purchase, I got a call from a friend. His name is Darren, and one of my dearest friends. He calls me. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I literally was like I was sort of not myself. And he's like, "Dude, what's going on? What's happening?" And I said, I just bought a card collection that I don't know what the hell to do with. Now, at this point, I didn't know it was 20 million cards. All I said was, and he goes, "What?" He goes, "Oh, man, I told you, if you ever started another business or did something, I wanted to partake in it. Why?" And I said, "Mike, I did not miss a beat." Because he is the one, like, he's a logistical guy, man. He is a builder, like all kinds of, like, he's very efficient, and that's how his brain works. I did not miss a beat. I go, "You want to do this with me?" And he goes, "Yes." He didn't miss a beat because he loves sports. He collected as a kid, but our collecting lives were very different. He was a card flipper when he was a kid. I don't even know what that was. I really don't. And I still don't very much know what it is, other than you flip cards and you win them and you do this, but whatever. I never did that.
It's got a new connotation now than when it did when we were kids. But yes. Okay. Yep.
So he then did his thing. We rented a place that I now own. I bought it. And it wasn't for sale at the time, but when it came up for sale, I bought it because I was not moving this again. Right. And this is my place. This is my place. Like, this is the collection's home. So, I believe, and I don't quote me on this, it took us about 20 to 30, Navigators and Lexus 570s moving the collection. Then it took us 5 U-Hauls, 18 to 24 foot U-Hauls to move it. And when you're 51, 52 years old and you're picking up those boxes, they're not light, man. You can only do it. You can only do it once a week for about 4 weeks. And it started dragging on. and the previous owners were like, we really need to get this out of here. Like and I'm like, I'm doing the best I can. I'm literally doing the best I can. I have my daughters helping me. I have some of my staff from my businesses helping me. And Darren's wife was helping us. And it was a clown show. I will tell you, it was a freaking clown show, bringing these boxes in. And then Darren's wife did the most amazing thing. She started organizing it and breaking stuff down. And Darren was building shelves, and we bought all this shelving from the Best Buys that were going out of business around our area. And things just started coming together, and I could not have done it without them. No way. I would still be in piles and piles of just boxes. So it got really organized, and then cut me loose, man. I started going through these things, and I started finding all this other stuff that was just, unbelievable. And I will share with you at some point, my greatest find isn't what you would think it would be.
Okay. I think I know the story because I think you told me yesterday, but
yes,
we'll get to that at the end. I do want to
yes.
talk. I have, oh my God, this is just kid, my 12-year-old self, which I think is
I love this, Mike. I love talking shop.
Is like, holy crap. And that, again, I've had this to a smaller degree, this experience. So I get how you felt, and you're overwhelmed, and you're like, holy crap, what do I do? You've got a lot of vintage in this collection too. And you mentioned grading. You mentioned grading earlier, and your lack of experience in the grading system, because when you kind of took a break from acquiring cards, not collecting, but acquiring cards in the 90s and 2000s, even probably, grading is now, I don't look at grading the way I think the hobby looks at grading.
Sure.
And I would say, I'm giving you unsolicited advice or just thoughts, not even advice, just the thought. Like I would be like, okay, let's take the Ryan rookie. It's sharp. It's nice. Maybe you have 10 of them. You don't have to tell me, like, maybe you have a bunch of them.
I can tell you I have 4, but that's 4. What we'll see.
Great.
Yeah.
So you go, okay, I'm going to take the nicer. I'm going to maybe keep a couple of raw ones, maybe take the nicest ones and get them graded, not because of value, although that's definitely a terminal thought. Like, it's not that you can't think about what happens later, right? When I'm gone, what happens to these cards? But grading is to me, why I love it and use it is I want to get that card protected, kind of draw a line in the sand of this is what this card is. It's absolutely an opinion. The opinions can vary in terms of who gets the card and is looking at it and grading it. It can vary dramatically. So it's not putting stock so much in the number that's on the slab. It's saying, okay, at least it's fixed. The card is going to be encapsulated. It's going to be protected. It's going to not change from here on out. Whether or not I think it's an 8 and they think it's a 6, okay, it is what it is. I don't necessarily like that, but that's how the world works. And so the point is to get them protected. Now, you may choose not to do. I know you have graded some cards. I've seen some. I think you've graded, or you had some that were already graded. I saw a 63 Fleer video recently of yours.
Yeah,
and it's so fantastic.
He graded a lot. He graded not quite a few, but he has a lot of graded cards in this collection.
Well, it's now your collection. So,
it's in my collection. He has a lot of graded cards in my collection.
I was watching the 63 Fleer, and you were going through the box of 63 Fleer, right? And you're like, "Oh my God, Bob Gibson!" And I was like, "Yes, Bob Gibson." And the first one you saw was pretty OC, And then you're like, "Holy crap, another Bob Gibson and a Clemente and a this and a Koufax and Drysdale," and you have like 4 Drysdales or whatever.
Yeah.
Roman Borowski and all these guys. And I'm doing the 63 Fleer set, all the Hall of Famers graded, and I've completed it. And so I felt your joy. Like I was like, I get it. It just connected in such a raw and awesome way, Tim. Your reaction to finding these cards, and you get to do that for the rest of your life. Like, now, obviously taking breaks and doing all that, but I would tell you that grading is not. There will be 1,000 people on here that say grading is a scam, and it depends on why you're doing it. That could be true and it could not be true. If you're grading for preservation purposes, that's to me a great motivation. It's expensive, right? Obviously, but it does create an end game down the road that makes it easier to value for your family. Now, that you may not care, the girls may not care, your kids may not care. Not that's a personal choice, but and you need to make it. But I'm sure when I come visit, because I'm not letting that go at all. Like and then we'll talk a lot more. There's going to be people chiming in on comments and stuff of what they think, but I'm just more wanting to talk about just the experience of this, not what you should do or how to get the most value. That's just dumb. Like we'll figure, that'll get figured out. That's the best way to say it.
Sure.
But the joy of it. So you get this warehouse, you move all these cards. They're like going, get all this stuff out of here. We need, we need to move on. And you and your buddy Darren are and his wife and everybody's, it takes a village, right? You're learning it takes a village. And so then you have this collection. What makes you go, hey, I'm going to start doing Instagram and YouTube and start showing this stuff off? How did you go from having it to doing that?
So first, I do want to add this, because I think this is important for your listeners. I didn't know what I had. So to own something where I was like, really, what is this other than just a ton of cardboard and bats and autographed balls and all kinds of stuff? Like what is this? Like, I think I needed affirmation. And I had a gentleman who walked in who was actually featured in the New York Times article that was written on this. His name was Joe Mars, and Joe became a good friend in this process. And he was helping me, and I was FaceTiming him and shooting pictures of like, oh my God, look what I just found. And he's like, this is crazy. Oh my God, I just found Roger Maris rookie graded an 8 or a 9. I forget what it was. And I'm like, and he's flipping out going, this is crazy. When he came to visit, it affirmed what I thought was real, but coming from somebody who's forgotten more about cardboard than I will ever know, that's when I knew that it was special, because I'm going to actually, this is going to take us into what you just asked. And that's when I started going down the pathway of, okay, I just had this guy here. He just told me that this is one of the coolest, unbelievable collections. He didn't say it's the most valuable, because it's not. It's not. It doesn't have I don't have a 10, a Mickey Mantle rookie 10. I don't have that. Like, that's not what this collection's about. It's about, So I then started connecting with people and sharing my story, and they were starting to chime in going, hey, have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? And we were like, I was like, sure, yeah. And then we started doing these ridiculous videos of me like sitting at this little at this little counter over here. And
it's like a workbench kind of thing.
Yeah, it was. Well, it's not what you see now. It was very different. And it was just me sitting there going, hey, how are you guys doing today? Oh my God, I'm so excited. You still got the authenticity of the excitement, but it wasn't like what I I was holding back, is what I would say. I was really holding back from my authenticity because I was trying to, well, I don't want to scare people off. And then the more people that I started talking to, they started saying, hey, I think you can start building something. I think people would really be interested on Instagram and YouTube. And then we hired, my daughter and Maddie, and the rest is history. They started coming up with creatives, and we started doing stuff. Now, mind you, we've only been doing this for about 8-9 months. Like our socials, probably longer than that. I'm sorry, probably longer than that. But now, mind you, the Big League Find, I should say, has only been doing it for about 7-8 months. I think we started in March, maybe April of this past year of 2025. And we, a gentleman came up with a name, and it was awesome. And he's involved still, and his name is Rob Smith. He's just a great guy, and he's come up with a bunch of ideas, and we're just whatever comes next comes next.
You're enjoying the ride. Well, your channel is, you're over 2,200 subscribers. You should have 10x that. Don't get me started on that. Hopefully 1 or 2 people will find you from this and become avid followers, as I am going to be going forward. So what % of the collection do you think you've gone through, if you were to guess?
If I were to honestly, truly guess, I would say between 10 and 15%. That's what I would actually guess, is 10 to 15%.
Okay, so I'm coming for a week then, because we're going to knock out some percentages. No, I'm just.
Well, let me be clear. And that's the whole thing, is you got to understand that in this organization, when Darren's wife organized it, there are boxes of, boxes and binders of, of a lot of current stuff that I'm sure, have Topps update Mike Trout rookies. And because I'll see the actual 2011 Topps baseball update, but I haven't been through it because I can't. Like, I'd be distracted every single day of my life. The one thing I will share, this is just funny, haha. I did look at 2009 Topps basketball, and I'm like, no. And I was just walking past it because I do love Steph Curry. He's awesome. And I'm like, I pull it off the shelf, and I'm like, there's no way this Steph Curry's in here. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. Holy shnikes. There's the Topps 2009 Steph Curry. And I'm like, this is nuts. Like, this is where this collection goes off the rails a little bit, because I know that there's cards just that are hidden or whatever that, no, they don't have to have high value. Just they're very collectible. And that's, they're just a highly collectible card, and people would love it. And anybody that would find it in their attic would be like, oh my God, this is so awesome. This is so cool.
So yes, I know. And I love that. So yes, the distractions would be true. Is there something that you go, man, I really want to find X card or X set? Is there something that you haven't found yet that you're really hoping is buried in there somewhere?
Yes. So I'm going to start with, obviously, with everybody's elephant, and that is the Mantle rookie, the 1951 Bowman. I would love to find the 1951 Mantle Bowman rookie. That is what I would love to find.
Somebody has that card. I don't know.
What's that?
Somebody has that card.
I know. Very, very much. And you'll bring it. they'll bring it so I can. So, but I would like to find it. Here's the interesting piece. I did find one, but it wasn't authentic. It wasn't authentic, and I shot Joe Mars a picture, and he started chatting with me, and then he called me, and then I FaceTimed him, and then he's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, pal." He's like, and I'm like, "What?" He's like, either that card was, sold fraudulently, for whatever, but yeah, unfortunately, long story short, that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I don't know. There's got to be a lot of hidden gems lurking in this. But now to get back to it, to something that I would love to find. Oh man, how do I phrase this without I would love to find, this is going to be vintage. It's going to be much more on the vintage side. I have found a Lou Gehrig, a 1933 Lou Gehrig Gaudi, and it's graded. It's graded a 2, similar to yours, pal. So we are there's our cardboard bros.
There we go. That's right.
Lurking.
Eskimo brothers of cards. Yes.
Yes. But you had mentioned to me how much you love Lou Gehrig, and I got to actually say the same. I would love to find something earlier of Sweet Lou. I would.
There's not much earlier than that.
Well,
there's an exhibits card. There's a couple things, but there's not a lot earlier.
Well, I think isn't there a 1925? That was his rookie. And I think it was, there's a few things out there from 1925, but then it literally flashes to 1932, 33 or something. And I don't think anything exists in between that time frame.
If you find a Gehrig exhibits rookie, you've found something special for sure.
So I will share this with you. I have found some really cool things of Ty Cobb. I found a little tiny mini confectionery card, and it's tiny. It's tiny. And it's from, I believe, 1921, 1922 is what I was told. And I found it in a cardboard box, just randomly, just in a box. And I was just thumbing through it, and there was a bunch of look and see cards from the 50s. And all of a sudden, randomly, I'm like, what is that? And then I look, and it says Ty Cobb on the bottom. And I'm like, you talk about dancing. I definitely did a happy dance around the room. But another thing that I have found a really neat Honus Wagner, not the Honus Wagner card, but I have found a really neat Honus Wagner card from that era, the 1910s, 1911s. I don't like to talk about just because we haven't done quite the reveals, but I'm okay with sharing this because these are some of the things that I have found, and I don't want it to be disingenuous. Where when I'm opening a box live, I'm opening the box. You are getting it, and whether people want to believe it or not, that's what they're getting. They're getting that because I can't look through everything, and then other Brooke and Maddie will be like, oh, you got to open up this box. You're going to love this. It's the same way that I open up wax, that's what you get.
Well, the fact that you share that with your audience, and you can tell, it's easy. You can see through people that are being fake. You are not that. And the taking us along for the journey with you as you're discovering and opening a box, hey, let's see what's in here. Let's do this together. The fact that you do that is so cool. You could easily have kept all this to yourself. You could have easily done this in a vacuum, and you have decided to share it. And I think that is amazing, and I'm grateful for it because now I have a new hobby friend, and I just think about all of
I thought
this.
we were brothers. Wait a minute.
Sorry, brothers. I'm friends with my brother too. It's all I mean, like guys like me, like I just bought an 07 update set, and it came in the mail.
Awesome. That's
yesterday.
awesome.
So that's going to go in. I'm doing binders now. I've decided to convert my whole collection of sets into binders, which is
you'll have a field day here, pal.
So anyway, that's this change in me, and we change as collectors over time. I think we evolve. Our likes and dislikes change over time. What we focus on changes, and that keeps the hobby fresh. That keeps it from becoming stale, or and so I have the way I work is the way I collect is tons of projects, so that if I get kind of stuck in one area, Tim, I can switch. Okay, I can go. Let me go work on these for a little while. Let me go work on my sets right now because I don't want to buy high-end cards because I feel like things are just kind of nuts. And so I go, I'm just going to buy an 07 Topps update set and love this just as much as if I bought a Mickey Mantle card.
Sure.
The values are completely polar opposites, right?
Yeah.
But I love the cards. I
think it's awesome, and that's where I think you and I connect. You are in love with your collection. Like it's actually like it's like you are madly in love with it, and that's how I describe this. I am madly in love with this collection, no doubt.
Well, you and I could talk for hours and hours. I'm gonna leave it here because what I want to do is have people down in the comments like part 2. What do you guys want? Because I promise you, Tim and I are happy to do it.
1,000%.
And so it becomes, what do you want the next conversation to include? You guys drive that train a little bit. And I know there's a lot of other questions that have been left unanswered. We're doing that I'm doing that as the creator of the show on purpose because I want you guys to go watch. Tim does a lot of this on his channel. He talks a lot about this stuff. And so go watch, get engrossed just like I have been. And I hope you guys will love Tim as much as I've grown to just.
You're awesome, Mike. Vice versa. Vice versa. Can I chime in? And I got to share this with you.
Of course.
If this is a teaser, so recently I opened up a pack of 1975 O-Pee-Chee Topps. It's actually the actual original video is on our Instagram, and I pulled with one of my best friends, who was visiting at the time, from my collecting buddy. Him and his son were visiting me from Pittsburgh, and we pulled the 1975 O-Pee-Chee Nolan Ryan. So I immediately go to the experts, because I look at it and I say to myself, this card is perfectly centered, like perfect. Like there's nothing off. Then I say, okay, how do these grading systems grade now? Do they take it in account that 1975 O-Pee-Chee, the perforated cuts were just, it just sort of sucked.
Rough cuts. Yeah.
But they don't take away from that anymore.
That's right. They understand that rough cutting was part of the process. Yeah.
Yes. So now I'm sitting there. Now I'm looking at it. Then I look at the surface and I'm like, absolutely immaculate surface. Like you would have to, if you were a grading system, to take anything off for surface, you'd be nuts. And it just wouldn't be normal. It would almost be like you're living in a land of like, I'm not going to give this a 10. So with that being said, here's the teaser. When you come here, I'm going to actually show you, because you are without a doubt unequivocally better suited at doing this than I am. We're going to look at this card, and I want you to truly determine, am I holding the first graded 10 of a 1975 Nolan Ryan O-Pee-Chee.
Man, you're giving me I'm like ready to book my ticket. Like, I'm like, hey, when am
I'm
I?
not joking. I could show you the card right now, but I won't because it's that cool. And this just happened. It just happened. I don't buy wax.
You don't need to anymore.
No, I don't buy wax for it to sit here. Meaning, like, but I do still buy wax. That's pretty nuts. But I do. Yes, I do. I do. I still buy wax. Not the 80s or any of that stuff, just because, well, no, I do. I'll buy stuff from a sealed case or whatever, but there was so much already here, but I still do. That's why I do want to be very forthcoming. Like, that's the stuff I buy is wax.
Okay.
So to get back to it,
yeah,
I opened up this 1975 O-Pee-Chee, and I can't wait for you to get here so you can look at it. And we could literally be holding a card that maybe only one of them exists. I've showed it to one person, and he is an expert. And his exact words were, the only way that doesn't get what it deserves is if they just don't want to give it. I mean, I sent him pictures. I did everything. I'm literally giving him every single ounce. And he's like, other than holding it in my hands, he's like, and he's an expert. He sends thousands of cards in to get graded monthly. Thousands.
Wow.
So that tells you what he does for a living.
I am intrigued beyond belief.
Yes.
Doesn't do it justice. I am excited, truthfully.
Yes.
Man, first of all, thanks for reaching out. Thanks for being like, hey, I want to share this. And that, you don't have to. And I just think it's awesome that you are. I feel the same way about just sharing my hobby journey. I don't want to do this in a vacuum. I don't want to do this by myself. It's too much fun.
Me too.
It's like, why would I want to keep all this fun to myself? Let's share the love. And I'm excited to get to know you more, Tim. I'm excited for other people to see what you're doing. And I hope everything blows up for you in a good, just people hearing your story, hearing the stuff, and just connecting with you just like I have. And I'm glad I have a platform that I can, pay it forward, so to speak, of what I've discovered. And so everybody go check out Big League Find, go watch Tim and check him out. I can't let you go. Tell about the Tim Raines, your favorite find. Let's do that. And then we'll finish it off with that.
Okay. We'll do it. I'll condense it. So in 1982, my dad and I are going up to Montreal to watch Pete Rose play, he played for the Phillies at the time. So it was the Phillies against the Spos. And I was going up specifically because I wanted to try to get a Pete Rose autograph. On the way up, we stopped at a department store called Zeller's, and I had an Expos shirt on. I was playing the role. I'm going up to Montreal. I got to wear an Expos, regardless that I want to see Pete Rose. Get to the counter. The lady asked me, "Are you an Expos fan?" I said yes, and I wasn't. That was the whole thing. Is I wasn't at the time. I was like, yeah, I'm an Expos fan. She then hands me a stack of these panel cards, and at the top of them, on the top was the Tim Raines Zeller panel, and I saw it, and I knew of Tim Raines because of his rookie year, because I followed everything. I was a line score junkie, and so I was very familiar. And we're driving up, and before I even got to the stadium, I honestly was enamored by Tim Raines and now the Montreal Expos. because I had these cards, these special cards. And I always say to people, the card changed my collecting life. It literally created my favorite player moving forward forever. And it created my favorite team forever. Even though the Expos don't exist anymore, they will always be my favorite team. I'm the junkie who goes on YouTube and pulls up games from 1981, 82, 83, 84, 85, whatever. And I watch them as if they're happening at that moment on YouTube. I do it because that's who I am. Like that's how much I love the generation I collected in, and then evolved. And obviously I always remained a collector. I get it. But I accumulated all my stuff as a child, was from that 80, 81 time frame through, 87, 88. And then girls came in the picture, and then the rest is history, I always joke around about that.
Yeah, sure. That's a tale as old as time for us collectors,
Yeah. Well, we were like, I was a nerd.
Yeah.
I literally spent Friday nights organizing my freaking binders, and my buddies are out hanging out. And this probably lasted until I was in like 10th, 11th grade. I didn't like sit home. I was an athlete. So like I had like these best friends, but my best friends were like, doing their thing. And I was still going to Montreal and Toronto with my dad and spending weekends with my dad. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. But, ultimately it came to a point where I was like, time out, man. I gotta change my ways a little bit. I gotta change my ways. And, I always joke around. It was either my cards or hanging out with,
When I met my wife, we've been married 26 years. And when I met her, you always go, okay, I got to tell her about this card thing, because that may be a deal breaker, right? Like, okay, this guy's too much of a dork. There's no way I'm going to stay with him. And so I remember telling her about it, and it's hard for our spouses to really understand the gravity of our passion. I have some cards, and I had, a bunch of boxes and stuff, and it kind of moved into the house when we got married. And, this was, late 90s. We got married in 99. eBay was just becoming a thing. And I was a young professional starting my career. There was no money for cards, right? I mean, we were starting our lives together and having kids and all these things. So it kind of hid under the surface for a long time, because we couldn't afford for me to do it, even if I wanted to do it, which I did. I still had the cards, and I still, I could buy the occasional card, or I'd go to a shop or a show or whatever. Then as we kept going through time, it's like, oh crap, you are a card, like you're a nerd, like you're a card nerd. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, we are. And I'm proud of it.
Guilty.
Love it.
And so anyway, again, you and I hope everybody is still hanging with us. We're just now talking.
I know. We're in our own little world. All we're doing is just right now rambling, and
There's
people are probably like, click. They're probably like,
right.
What? And then like an hour from now, we're going to be like, I thought we were wrapping this up.
Right. No. Okay. I will wrap this up. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening as you do all the time. And Tim, thanks again for being on the show, making your debut.
Thank you. Yeah, Mike, I can tell you right now, you have no idea. This is a connection for the ages, my friend. We are connected now, and I can't wait to have you visit, no doubt. And I'm looking forward to it. As much as you're looking forward to coming here, I'm looking forward to having you here, man, because I know we're gonna have the time of our life.
It'll be a blast. And you got to reciprocate. You got to come to Texas. So
of course, I told you, I will absolutely 100%. You're going to give me some authentic Texas Mexican.
Some barbecue,
no doubt.
Yep, we got some good stuff.
No, see, I have barbecue here.
No, you don't.
I got to tell you that. Yeah, I think Tex-Mex is probably more in my line of work. Right. So I'm already gonna paint that picture for you.
Tex-Mex it is. I'll eat it every day if you let me. So
there you go.
Everybody, hope you enjoyed this. Let us know what you thought down below. We will catch you guys on the next episode. Thanks for watching. And hey, keep collecting.